Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So this video is going to be about Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball has been announced to be being reprinted in the newest, or the next Japanese set after the Fusion set. So it's coming out on VMAX Climax, which for us will probably come out around January. Usually when Sword and Shield base set came out, or Battle Styles came out around that time. We will probably be getting this Ultra Ball reprint. We don't have an image, we just know that it is confirmed Ultra Ball is getting a reprint. So today's video, we're just going to be about what impact my Ultra Ball's reprint have on the game. Ultra Ball, of course, you can see it right here. Discard 2 cards from your hand, and then if you do, you search your deck for a Pokemon, and then you put it into your hand. So very, very powerful card. It's already seen a reprint, I believe, 3 times. But yeah, it's like very, very unrivaled Pokemon search. Probably the best Pokemon search that we've ever seen on an item card. So, yeah, Ultra Ball's getting reprinted. What will this mean for the game? Some cards that this card will make better. This is just the game itself, skill, consistency, things like that. So, starting off with number 1, this is probably the most obvious one. Is it will heavily increase the power of Crocodile V. Crocodile V has the Dark Asset ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand on your bench on your turn, you may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. So, just Quick Ball alone is really, really good with Crobat, but having both Quick Ball and Ultra Ball in the same format, you can discard a lot more cards from your hand easier, and that is going to be increasing the power of Crobat V's Dark Asset ability. But the main turn 1 or 2 of these like heavily Crobat-focused engines, I would imagine most decks will be playing, 4 Quick Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, and 2 to 3 Crobat, depending on how much bench space they can manage. The main turn 1 or 2 of these heavily Crobat-focused engine decks might go something like this, Quick Ball for Evolving V, and then you Ultra Ball for Crobat, and you Dark Asset for either more Evolving Vs, depending on what deck you're playing, maybe you only need 1 or 2, and then a supporter for the following turn. So, Crobat is really, really liking this Ultra Ball reprint. Next, we have help decks that like heavy Pokemon search. Things like Drizzile and Inteleon-focused decks really, really will love the more Pokemon search because the aims of those decks is just get as many Sobbles as you can turn 1, and your Evolving V, obviously. And then get your Drizziles out to search a deck for your very powerful training cards. Just take them right out of the deck, so you have them exactly when you want them. So Ultra Ball will be very, very good for these decks. Only thing is sometimes these decks can rely on Path of the Peak, and obviously that will shut down Crobat. So you'll probably have to find a little bit of balance between Path of the Peak and Ultra Ball Crobat. So yeah, Drizzile engines will really, really love this. And Shadow Rider will love getting more Pokemon search. Already, Shadow Rider is an insanely good deck with having 8 basic search outs. Well, now it's going to have 12, which is absolutely bonkers. So Shadow Rider is definitely here to stay with this Ultra Ball reprint. And just any deck that wants to get out multiple evolving or multiple Pokemon turn 1 is this Ultra Ball is going to be very, very good for. Next, we have Crocodile V, which is kind of been an underplayed card. I don't find myself putting it in too many decks. It is not a bad card. It can, in theory, go into any deck. But Ultra Ball will make this card just that much better, just like Crobat. So much like Crobat, being able to aggressively discard cards make Crocodile a more viable draw engine because you can more consistently get your hand down to low, and then Crocodile for 1 or 2 cards. It's obviously not going to be as powerful and aggressive, but those decks that do just need that little bit extra push in terms of draw, Crocodile will do just fine here. And also many decks maybe they don't want a fighting weak Pokemon on the bench that is just going to be destroyed by GMX Rapid Flow. Well, Crocodile is here, Rapid Strikers who will have to work towards that 1 KO on Crocodile using, Telescopic Sight, Passimian, and Inteleon pings. So if you don't want that fighting typing on your bench, or weakness on your bench, then that will be okay. Also, decks that can't afford multiple Crobats throughout the game, Crocodile will also do just fine because it's sustainable draw. It's not just gonna sit there after you use it like Crobat. It will be able to keep drawing you cards throughout the game. Next, we have the cards that V Unions needed. V Unions, when they were first revealed, they were obviously insanely powerful cards, but the one thing they were missing was consistent search and discard outs. We got Professor Burnett revealed, but not only does it come in a box, it's kind of hard to get. It doesn't really do that too well because it's basically just Battle Compressor but worse, and it's on a supporter card. So not Professor Burnett tried to kind of fill the role that Ultra Ball is going to be filling now, but can't really do it as well as Ultra Ball. Now, the main thing about V Unions was that they're neither Pokemon, or neither basic Pokemon nor evolution Pokemon, which means you couldn't use Quick Ball or Evolution Instance to search them out. You had to use something like Great Ball or Pokekid, I guess you could use that technically. But Ultra Ball says it searches out a Pokemon. And V Unions, they are Pokemon, they're just not basic or evolution. So Ultra Ball, it can search them out, and it can get them in the discard pile. So Ultra Balls covers most of the glaring weaknesses of V Unions, both discarding cards and searching them in the first place. And since V Unions are not basic nor evolution, things like Quick Ball and Evolution Engines would not search them out. Previously, Great Ball was probably the best way to search them out on an item card at least. Now with Ultra Ball being format, might very well increase the viability of these V Union Pokemon that are very, very powerful, except as of right now, very, very underplayed. Now here's our first non-card example, which is another two poles to this. There's the increased skill ceiling and lower skill ceiling. Now in terms of increase the skill ceiling, by decks being more consistent, this is kind of opinionated depending on these, but it could increase the skill ceiling of the game. By decks being more consistent with Ultra Ball and format will create less gains lost by your deck not setting up, and rather players might find themselves losing due to misplays and more often the bad variants. So this was something a lot of players were complaining about in the Crushing Hammer days. You know, Team Up to Darkest Display, Team Up to Vivid Voltage, Crushing Hammers were really, really annoying. Players just found it so annoying that they would constantly lose just to a single coin flip. With Ultra Ball making decks a lot more consistent, it might eliminate the chance of bad variants, and instead your deck will set up every single game, and it will create more options for just good play and good matches in general. Now on the other side of the spectrum, we have could lower the skill ceiling of the game. On the contrary, with decks being more consistent, heavy-hitting two-shot VMAX decks might be so consistent that whoever goes first or gets a turn or gets the first hit on the opposing VMAX will ultimately just win the game. Just because, you know, most VMAXs are just, you know, Ugga Bugga two-shot, you know, 200 plus damage. That is obviously not very much skill to be had there. So just being able to just consistently set up your VMAX, and if you go first, well then that's just immediately just going to be a huge advantage for you because you consistently set up by turn 2. Now, on the other, this also could increase the power of Cheryl, just because Cheryl is like the anti-two-shot card. So, yeah, it could lower the skill ceiling of the game. Both, depending on your opinion, this is going to be very opinionated if you think it's going to increase it or lower the skill ceiling. Now, this is another card. Make cards that play from the discard pile better, namely Galarian Moltres and Laffy. Obviously, Laffy does like the extra Pokemon search as well, just because they can get down their Evolving V and their multiple Mareeps, but can also be used in Flappy decks to just get energy in the discard pile. But it also makes Galarian Moltres a lot better because Galarian Moltres also likes energy in the discard pile to use that Dire Flame Wind's ability. Now this is the last one, and this one might seem kind of odd because Ultra Ball doesn't directly affect this card, and that is increased power of Path at the Peak. Cards with Kricketune, Crobat, and Galarian Moltres getting huge buffs due to Ultra Ball. Path might see more play to these powerful Rocks Pokemon's abilities. So, like I said, this doesn't directly, Ultra Ball Reprint doesn't directly, directly benefit Path at the Peak, but it kind of indirectly, by making all these other really nice Rulebox Pokemon better, Rulebox Pokemon abilities better than Path at the Peak, ultimately turning off those abilities will make Path at the Peak better. So, this one a little bit more indirect, but definitely something to consider. And that's it. And if you have any more ideas of how the reprint could impact the game or a certain deck, then comment it below. I'd like to hear that. There are probably certainly cards that I forgot. This is just kind of my first thoughts when I first saw that Ultra Ball was getting reprinted. Also, if you comment below about how it could impact, then I will also know that you watched the end of the video, which is awesome. I know that a lot of people probably don't watch the end of the videos. I'm going to be very, very honest, but that's going to do it for the video. If you guys liked it, if you guys have any ideas of how Ultra Ball will impact the format, then feel free to go ahead and comment them below. But that's going to be it for the video. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave a like. This is definitely a little bit different of a video than I usually do. A little bit more analytical. So if you like the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I don't usually do content like this, but I also do deck profiles. So if you're into deck profiles and just different decks, then 100% do consider please subscribing to the channel. But that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you